Big night in Southeast Texas as the Astros on the verge of another World Series championship. We're live in downtown Houston talking to some fans from Southeast Texas who made the trip here.
And 2 inmates experience medical problems only days apart in a jail and die at a hospital. Tonight, the Jefferson County Sheriff talks with Fox 4 News about the guidelines her staff follows in such cases. Plus, how Port Arthur is overcoming the language barrier and bringing more Hispanic-owned businesses into the region.
Showers and thunderstorms moving across the area, and that will continue to be a factor into Thursday.
Fox 4 News starts right now.
We are now less than 2 hours away from Game 6 of the World Series, which you can watch right here on Fox 4 News starting at 7 o'clock. A win tonight would mean our Houston Astros claim their 2nd championship in team history. Already, folks are ready to celebrate in downtown Houston, and that's where we find Fox 4's Angel San Juan checking in on the fans, and I'm sure having fun. Angel?
Oh, it's a lot of fun, Kimberly. This is a great day. And you know what? It is raining again, but the rain that's falling and the gray skies, that is not dampening the mood. Just check the crowds behind me as they're coming in. The game starts at 7:07, as Kimberly mentioned, but already the crowd is starting to gather here. There's been celebrations throughout the day, but remember, the big party will be tonight. If the Astros win, they will have won their 2nd championship title in team history, and they would have won it during Game 6. 2 years ago, they won it 7 games. But a lot of fans are coming from the Golden Triangle area, including John Neves, who joins us. He's from Beaumont, and Heather Healy interviewed him during the home opener at the beginning of the season. What was your prediction back then, John?
That we were going to win the World Series again this year, and we're fixing to win tonight.
I'm calling you Nostradamus. That's pretty good.
Hey, we're going to win it tonight. Last time we had a hurricane, we won. We just got our butts kicked last month, 2 months ago. We're going to win it again. This is for Southeast Texas because we're Texas strong.
Thank you so much, John, and have fun. John owns season tickets, but for all of you that are thinking of coming to the game and you don't have tickets, well, there's still some left, standing room only, and they are going for about $700 a piece. So, pretty expensive, but probably worth it. Back to you, Kimberly.
All right, Angel, good luck to everybody fighting the rain there for the game. And we want to get a look at our weather here in Southeast Texas to see if we can expect any rain. Chief Meteorologist Greg Bostwick has the answer. Greg?
Oh, lots of rain out there, generally north of I-10. We've had some heavy thunderstorm, too, some wind damage in and around Coots a while ago, about an hour ago, hour and a half. Now, that storm has moved rapidly up into Newton County. There still is a warning there for the Newton County area. That's the cell we're watching now crossing the Sabine River and moving rapidly toward the northeast. And we've had some 2-inch totals in spots, too, across the lakes with those heavier rains. More rain on the way and a cold front. We'll take a look.
All right, thank you, Greg. And strong winds are causing issues at Hawthorne Field right now. Wind estimates from Greg were about 50 miles per hour and have caused some damage in Hardin County. Sheriff Mark Davis tells Fox 4 News winds blew over a small building off FM 327 on the road leading into Hawthorne Field. And you're looking at a live look right there. Davis says a man was inside and first responders are treating him. Strong winds also blew down trees and wind-blown rain got inside the courthouse. We'll have more updates tonight on Fox 4 News at 9. Well, tonight the Texas Rangers are investigating the deaths of 2 Jefferson County inmates only days apart while in a hospital. Fox 4's Tan Radford joins us in the studio with this after speaking with the Jefferson County Sheriff today. And so, Tan, what does Sheriff Zena Stephen have to say about these?
She said they took the correct protocol in the jail and that both of the men had prior medical conditions ahead of the deaths. According to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, 36-year-old Jeremy Scott and 46-year-old Christopher Lee both had pre-existing medical conditions and were treated at the jail's infirmary before being taken to a local hospital Tuesday and Friday, where they died. Sheriff Zena says both men were transferred to the Jefferson County Jail from outside agencies. Upon arriving, inmates are medically and mentally screened to keep them in the best of health.
I take great pride and made sure that we have medical team, in our facility that I believe is professional and would do the very best and did do the very best in both of these cases to ensure, that we were trying to save the lives of the two gentlemen who were in our facility.
An autopsy has been ordered for both men, and the Texas Rangers are investigating, which is standard procedure in such cases.
All right, Sam, thank you. Well, students at public schools in Austin will get a new sex education curriculum, which is generating some controversy tonight. Protesters on both sides showed up for a district board meeting late yesterday where board members unanimously approved the changes. The new curriculum for students in kindergarten through 8th grades will include discussions about gender identity and sexual orientation, along with healthy relationships, pregnancy, and sexually transmitted diseases. But some say the content is inappropriate for kids. Parents can opt their child out of the curriculum. A federal judge has put a stop, at least temporarily, to one of the country's most restrictive abortion bans. Today, a federal judge blocked the state's controversial bill that would have made almost all abortions illegal. Many states passed similar bans earlier this year. Alabama's would have been among the most restrictive because it would not allow exceptions for rape or incest. It also specified doctors who perform illegal abortions could be sentenced to life in prison. Many conservative lawmakers admitted before the bill was passed they knew it would be blocked, wanting the law to serve as a challenge in the Supreme Court to Roe v. Wade. New video shows just how scary the wildfires are in California. A man drove down Interstate 405 in Los Angeles, amazed at what he was seeing, and you're looking at video there from his cell phone. Flames from the Getty fire engulfed pretty much everything right next to the major highway. 25 million people are under a red flag warning in California as 10 wildfires burn thousands of acres. The wind gusts continue to be a big problem for firefighters. Some areas will see the strongest winds they've seen during this wildfire season. Well, a small plane crash is setting at least 2 houses on fire in New Jersey. Investigators say for some unknown reason, the Cessna 414 lost control and slammed into a house in Colonia earlier this morning. The house then caught fire and the flames spread to a nearby home. Officials say no one was in the house that got hit by the plane, but a woman was inside the second house and she made it out safely. The pilot's condition is unknown tonight. The Federal Aviation Administration and the NTSB will investigate to determine what caused the plane to go down.
Lots of rain in our forecast for the next few days, followed by some colder temperatures.
And still to come, starting a business is hard work, but the Port Arthur Chamber of Commerce is trying to make it easier for Spanish speakers. What they're doing to bring more Hispanic-owned businesses into the city. You're watching Fox 4 News. Running a business is difficult enough already. Add in a language barrier and it can feel nearly impossible. That's where the Port Arthur Chamber of Commerce is stepping in. The Chamber's Hispanic Business Council is trying to break down the language barrier, and here's how. They're beginning to hold meetings in Spanish to attract more Hispanic business owners. Successful business owners will share their stories in the meetings to let others know that starting their own business is possible.
And now Greg Bostwick, your weather authority.
Well, it certainly has been very active north of I-10 this afternoon. Areas south, not much happening yet. A lot of cloud cover here in Beaumont. We've had a little bit of rain. This is our sky cam looking back toward the northwest. Let's take a look at the rainfall total. It's pretty impressive here. We've had a lot of 1 to 2 inch totals, a little bit more in spots. In fact, one of the spots that had a little bit more, almost 2 1/3, falling up at West Harton High School in Saratoga, and a gust there at 24. We had some wind damage, though, in and around the Koontz area caused by this thunderstorms that rolled right across. See kind of bowing here a little bit. That always indicates some strong wind, and it's now moving across the Sabine River. Lots of rain across the lakes right now, and that lightning activity still is very intense. That's the core of the storm now moving into western Beauregard Parish. So it's coming out of southeast Texas. It's a very small area of Newton County remains under this warning for about another 10-15 minutes. It's southeast of Kirbyville, south of Bleakwood, near Call Junction, moving away, and the core again is along the Sabine and moving off toward the northeast. Boy, is it a contrast in temperatures right now. 74 degrees at the airport, 30 up toward Amarillo, 46 in Dallas. And you can easily see where the front is located even by the temperature change. See, it's through San Antonio. They're over 20 degrees colder, 26 degrees colder in Austin. Now, overnight, the rains will continue mainly north of I-10. Not much happening south of I-10 tonight with the southerly flow. You see the front right in this area, the flow out of the northwest behind it, and then the front starts to move. And once it starts to move, the rain activity starts to approach. And by late tomorrow afternoon, we should see quite a bit of shower activity into early tomorrow night. And there's the front offshore at that point. The northwesterly winds take over tomorrow night into Thursday morning, and it'll be a lot colder coming up by Halloween. So that's the next weather maker, the rain coming in, and also the colder temperatures. So overnight, a lot of moisture in place right on into Wednesday evening. But by Wednesday night and into Thursday morning, it all scoured out to the east. We'll see much drier air taking over at that point. Rainfall coverage at 100% coming up for tomorrow, then 80%. That's mainly in the morning, by the way, for Thursday. I think we're fine for trick-or-treating that night. And looks like by Friday, temperatures will be in the upper 30s in many areas. In fact, 30s all the way down towards San Antonio. Scattered areas of frost, not impossible across portions of southeast Texas. So let's break it down for you. 80% the coverage of rain. That's early on Halloween. Very windy, though, Halloween evening, with temperatures staying in the 40s and 50s. We'll drop to the upper 30s Friday morning. Almost as cold Saturday morning, but a lot of sun expected this weekend. Looks like a good weekend if you like fall-like weather this time around.
All right, thank you, Greg. Still to come, a grandfather charged in the death of his granddaughter on a cruise ship. Why police are calling this negligent homicide. Has been charged in the death of his young granddaughter after she fell from a cruise ship. Authorities say Salvatore Anelio faces a charge of negligent homicide in the death of Chloe Wigan. Back in July, Anelio was playing with the toddler on a cruise ship docked in Puerto Rico. The family's attorney says Anelio sat the girl on rails near a window he thought was closed, but it was actually open. The child fell out of the window 11 floors to her death. Anelio will have his preliminary hearing next month, and he's being held on an $80,000 bail. Well, the Boeing CEO, Dennis Muilenburg, admitting today the company made mistakes and apologizes for 2 deadly crashes involving the Boeing 737 MAX planes. He addressed families at a hearing on Capitol Hill this morning, looking into the accidents and the safety of the 737 MAX. Those who lost loved ones held images of the victims during the proceedings. Muilenburg's testimony comes as we mark 1 year since the Lion Air 737 MAX crash in Indonesia. The crashes in Indonesia and Ethiopia killed 346 people and prompted a worldwide grounding of the 737 MAX. Well, coming up, a popular breakfast item, yogurt. It has plenty of known health benefits already, but a new study found another positive. Stay tuned to find out. Well, it comes in dozens of flavors, but whether you like fruity or plain, eat up because yogurt could help prevent cancer. A new study finds that eating a cup of yogurt per day could reduce the risk of developing lung cancer. They analyzed data from 1.4 million adults in the U.S., Europe, and Asia. Researchers found people who ate yogurt every day, combined with a high-fiber diet, lowered their chances of lung cancer by more than 30%. That's compared to the group who didn't eat yogurt at all and consumed the least amount of fiber. Well, a judge in Utah has overturned a ban on vaping and e-cigarette products. The judge in Salt Lake City issued a temporary restraining order yesterday against a Utah Department of Health rule that would have, on a temporary emergency basis, banned general tobacco retailers from selling flavored vaping and e-cigarette products. The restraining order was applauded by vape retailers. The health department says the purpose of the rule was to prevent the outbreak of vaping-related lung illnesses. And speaking of e-cigarettes, Juul is reportedly planning to eliminate about 500 jobs by the end of the year. The cuts could include up to 15% of its workforce, according to the Wall Street Journal. The e-cigarette company is bracing for a proposed ban on flavors that make up more than 80% of its U.S. sales. It's been 90 years since the stock market crash of 1929. On October 29th of that year, the sale of 16 million shares marked the collapse of the stock market, setting the stage for the Great Depression. The day became known as Black Tuesday. After days of turmoil, the market collapsed and triggered a wave of panic, selling, and thousands of investors lost billions of dollars. By the next year, almost half of the nation's banks had failed, and nearly 30% of the workforce was unemployed. Up next, it goes great on toast, sandwiches, and for dip, but not so great on the interstate. How thousands of avocados ended up sprawled across a Texas road. 30,000 pounds of avocados spilled across eastbound Interstate 10 near Schwab Road in San Antonio today. Here's what happened. A tractor trailer veered off the highway around 12:30 this morning, then crashed. But it was too much for another big rig to avoid, so a tanker hit the tipped over truck, adding to the trouble. And so police, of course, had to stay behind and wait for crews to clean up the mushy mess.
That is a mess.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, maybe some of the rain will wash it away. But anyway, we have a lot of rain in our forecast right into Halloween. But the good news for trick-or-treaters and the like, the weather for Thursday night looks good, but it will be chilly coming up behind that front, which moves through late Wednesday night.
Oh, we can see, look at those temperatures. 40s.
Big drop, yeah, from the 70s to the 40s, yeah, big drop.
All right, Greg, well, thank you.
Sure.
And thank you for watching us here at 5:30. We'll see you back tonight after the game.